Welcome back, everybody. And yeah, you're going to say hi to Eysele. Yeah, this is Eysele, my ass. And Eysele and I are together. We're bubbling together. I bubble with my ass. And it's okay. And you know what? Because we're indoors, we're just doing storytelling right now. You don't need to wear your mask. It might be, why don't you take it off? It's okay. We're in the bubble. Okay, so here we go. Does it feel better, right? Yeah, you can see now, right? You can see everybody. Say hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Everyone's listening. Who knows who's listening? Do you know? Yeah, I think I think my cousin Mark's listening, and maybe Nadine, the one who made you that nice mask, and oh, who knows? Anyway, welcome everybody who's listening to stories. So I tell folk tales, and Eysele loves to listen. You like to hear stories. That's why you have such long ears to listen to long stories, which are a lot of fun. This one's not that long, and the story says that there was once a boy named Jackie Simple lived with his mother. They were very poor. Yeah, what? Oh, you think I told this one before? Yeah, no, I told one like it that starts the same because a lot of these stories, the old time stories, there are always somebody poor in the beginning. Who wants to hear about rich people? Anyway, Jackie Simple and his mother were very poor. And they lived, they worked hard, they didn't have much. They lived with their beautiful ass, uh, just as nice as you. Well, pretty almost as nice as you, Eysele. Yeah. And anyway, they lived a good life, and they were poor, but they were happy. And so Jackie Simple, one day they're at the house, and they hear a knock at the door, and he opens the door, and there in the dusk, hard to see exactly, but it would look like an old woman, very very old. Yeah, what? Yeah, even older than me, huh? Wow, I know, it's hard to believe. Even older than me. She was very old. And she says, hello, hello, is a guest welcome here? Oh, they say a guest is a gift from God. I know, I say that in a lot of stories, right? I know if anybody's watching these videos, you know, it comes up a lot. A guest is a gift from God, come in. So she comes in and everything's nice and they don't have much food, but they give her what they have, a little bit of schnapps to drink. You can't have any. You're okay. You can have a little later on afterwards. That's a little bit though. Okay. Yeah. Don't get too. Oh. And she drinks and she stays over the night. And they give her they only have one really nice room for guests, and she stays there. And in the morning, she says, "You've been very nice to me, and I really appreciate it. I wish everybody was this kind nowadays, but you can't count on it anymore. A lot of people close their door when a stranger comes. But anyway, if you ever need help, you can come to me, and I think I can help you." And Jackie Simple says, well, thank you, ma'am. That's very kind of. Where do you live? And she says, well, pretty far away. I live all the way past the village of Huppotsville and all the way to the back of beyond, and then you have to go west, and then you'll find me. Just go that way, and you'll find me if you need me. Don't check your GPS. There's nothing. You won't find me that way. Thank you, ma'am. Goodbye, young man. Good luck. And goodbye, woman of the house. And goodbye, donkey. And everybody's waving. Bye, bye, bye. So goodbye. Comes the old woman. She leaves. And Jackie Simple and his mom are carrying on, carrying on. It's hard. They're poor. It's poor. And they're trying to, sometimes they're barely enough to feed themselves. And they always had enough for their beautiful donkey, of course. Yeah, they have a nice donkey. And comes the middle of winter, and his mom says, Jackie, I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe it's time for you to try to find that old woman. She did say she could help us if we needed help, and we need help. All right, Mommy, I'll go now. And he said goodbye to his ass. Goodbye, my ass. You guys look after each other. Bye, Jackie. Bye, Mom. Yeah, kissed the ass too. Yeah, he did. And down the road he goes. Now he comes all the way past the village of Huppotsville. He comes all the way to the back and beyond, and he turns west. And sure enough, there's a little house, and there's the old woman there. Oh, nice to see you, young man. You were so nice to me. Well, we just did what everybody would do for a stranger. She said, not everybody would do. And she said, how can I help you? And he says, look, things are hard. We ran out of money. We're almost out of food. It's hard even to feed our donkey. Often we don't eat just so donkey will eat. And yeah, you said we'd come to you if we needed help, and we need help. And she said, oh, okay, yeah, all right. Well, I have something that'll be very helpful to you, but you have to take very good care of it. And she brought out, we're doing entrance here, ready? Okay. She brought out an ass. Ta-da! Hello, yes, and very nice, really almost as nice as Eysele. And she said, "This is a special ass." She says, "You have to be very nice to it, stroke its nice silky ears, and be very nice. Talk sweetly to your ass, and you say these words. You say, you have to say, sweet and gentle, smart and kind. My ass poops gold from her behind." What? I know, crazy. And the woman said those words, and right comes up the tail, and bloop comes out gold. Gold, gold. And Jackie Simple couldn't believe it. She said, take some. And he took some. And she said, "I don't need it, but you could probably use it all." He scoops up the gold, and she says, "Now take this donkey with you. Remember those magic words. But don't tell anyone. And be very careful on the way home, because people might want to try to steal your ass. Now, I know you're simple, too, so be careful." "I'll be careful, ma'am. Goodbye." And he takes the donkey, and the donkey says goodbye. And the old one says, "Goodbye, be careful, be careful." It's what we all say nowadays with this COVID stuff. Yeah, be careful, be careful. Jackie Simple, he left, and he's walking, and it's a long way home. It's a long way home, and he was getting tired. He comes to a village, and he sees it's a poor village. And he has a good idea. He's going to stay in an inn in the village, but before he goes to the inn, he calls the people. He says, "Come around, everybody, come around." He forgot what the old woman said to keep it secret. Yeah, you're worried. Yeah, me too. You know what they say about stories, by the way, Eysele? And, you're a storyteller's ass, so you should know this. A story is like a horse. I suppose you could say it's like a donkey. It's dangerous at both ends and uncomfortable in the middle. And we're in the middle. It's going to get uncomfortable. So if you can take it. You've heard a lot of stories. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anybody listening, just warning you, because Jackie Simple forgot the woman's warning, and he called and he said, "Come over here. You look poor. I think I can help." And he said, "Sweet and gentle, smart and kind, my ass poops gold from her behind." And boop comes the gold, and he picked it up, and he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, come over. Let me help you." And he gave gold to the poor villagers. Oh, they were happy. They were happy, for he's a jolly good fellow. They were really happy. And then he said, "I need a place to stay." And they said, "Well, there's a good inn there, and go ahead." Unfortunately, the innkeeper was a crook. Jackie Simple comes in. By now, everybody's been talking in the village. "Oh, this guy, he's giving out gold." And the innkeeper says, "Well, welcome to my inn." And yes, thank you. And Jackie was a bit simple. And the innkeeper said, "Here's the best supper we have," and poured him some wine and everything good. And Jackie Simple said, "Now I'm going to bring my ass into my room." "What? That's not normal. I don't think it's allowed." "Well, here's some gold. I'll just let me do that." And he brought the ass into his room, and he went to sleep. And the innkeeper had a donkey that looked just like Jackie Simple's ass. And in the middle of the night, when Jackie Simple was sleeping, the innkeeper opened the door quietly, and he switched donkeys. And in the morning, Jackie Simple took what he thought was his special, beautiful donkey. "Come on, donkey. Goodbye, innkeeper. Goodbye, villagers. Goodbye," they said, "for he's a jolly good fellow." Everybody happy. And he says, "Live well. Yes, thanks to you." And whoops, along the way, he comes all the way back home. Comes back to his mom. He says, "I went to the old woman, and she gave me a really special donkey. Now we'll have 2 special donkeys. 2. You can't have too many donkeys. No. You can't have." And he said, "Watch this, Mom." And he comes over, and he's stroking the donkey. And he says, "Sweet and gentle, smart and kind, my ass poops gold from her behind." Guess what happened? Nothing. Gurnished mit gurnished. That means nothing with nothing. Nothing happened. And his mom said, "But Jackie, what happened? I thought you were bringing a special gift, a help from the old woman." He says, "Yeah, but I don't know. I stayed at the inn." "You stayed at the inn in that village up the road?" "Yeah, Mama. Well, I've heard that innkeeper's a bit of a crook. You be careful next time. Maybe you better go back and tell the old woman. So Jackie simply he comes along all the way past Huppotsville to the back of beyond, turns west, and there's the old woman. Says, "Hello, Jackie. It's nice to see you again, but I wasn't expecting you quite so soon. And how did the ass work out?" Well, ma'am, you know what happened? I used it. I gave money to the poor villagers. I used money from the donkey's tushy to pay the innkeeper. But when I got home, the donkey didn't poop gold anymore. I'm not even sure it's the same donkey. I think the innkeeper might have switched on me. I don't know. And the old woman said, I think he might have. Now, I'm going to give you one more thing that's going to really help you, but do the same. Don't tell people. Be very careful. And I wouldn't trust that innkeeper. And she brought out a tablecloth and she said, you have to say these words. You can travel east and you can travel west, but this tablecloth is the very best. And when she said those words, it was covered with delicious food and hay and grass and sweet, and it was covered with, tell you what it was covered with. This is what I made last night. Vegetable tagine in coconut milk with curry miso, potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots, really, really good. And everything else you can imagine, whatever you like, that was on the tablecloth. And Jackie Simple had a feast, and the old woman said, eat, eat, eat. And he did. And she said, now be careful with it. Don't trust that innkeeper. All right, goodbye. Thank you so much. And scoops up the tablecloth. Along the way he goes. Comes to the same poor village. And the people there, so glad to see him back. He says, guess what I brought? He forgot what the old woman said to be quiet about these things. He said, come on around. He had a big picnic table in the village square. He spread it out and he said, you can travel east, you can travel west, but my tablecloth is the very best. And covered with food. You're going to bagels and lox and cream cheese and beer and cider and I don't know, you name it, whatever. And lovely grass and everything good, really good. Yeah, nice. And the innkeeper could see from the door of the inn something's going on. Oh, it's the same guy. I hope he comes to my inn. Yes, and he did. And I need a place to stay. He was getting late. He needed a place to stay. And the innkeeper had seen what had happened, and he thought, I have a tablecloth. Looks a lot like that one. And in the middle of the night, what did he do? Jackie Simple was sleeping. He went in and switched. Poor Jackie gets home. Ma, guess what? I got a gift from the old woman. We'll never be hungry again. Look, I could travel east, you could travel west, my tablecloth's the very best. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Garnished, mid-garnished, nothing with nothing. Nothing happened, nothing had happened. It's just a regular old table. It was a nice one, by the way, but it wasn't magic. And his mother said, Jackie, I think, knowing you shared whatever that tablecloth could have given, and you shared whatever the donkey was going to give with other people. And somebody crooked figured out how to steal those things. Go back to the old woman. All right, Ma, I'll try to do better this time. And he goes all the way back, past Huppotsville, past the back of beyond, turns west. Old woman's there. Hey, Jackie, nice to see you. Hi, yeah, I know. That tablecloth, maybe he switched on me because it didn't work anymore. And she said, well, yeah, batteries not included. It's a magic table. Yeah, he must have switched. So I'm going to give you one more thing. She said, now here's a little stick. And it's called a tushy whacker. Yes, you know what that means, right? Eysele is a tushy whacker. Yeah, tushy is your bum, your bottom. Your derriere, if you want to be polite, your posterior region. She says it's called a tushy whacker, and all you have to do is say, tushy whacker out and stout, whack him till he starts to shout. And I think you'll get back your donkey and your tablecloth. Thank you, ma'am. And he took the stick. And he came all the way straight to the inn. He just said hi to the villagers. He went straight to the inn and he said, I have something else. Ooh, the innkeeper was pretty interested. And it's a really special stick. Yeah, so I'm gonna take it in my room after supper. And goes into his room after supper with the innkeeper. Middle of the night, he thought Jackie Simple was sleeping. He opens the door, creeps in, and just before he grabbed the stick, Jackie Simple said, "Tushy, whack her out and stout, whack him till he starts to shout." And bam goes that stick. Oof! Oh man, he hit him on the bottom, and the innkeeper, ow, ow, Jackie Simple, make it stop, make it stop. Nope, no. Now this story could go on quite a long time, but I don't like this part that much. Whap, whap, whap. And finally the innkeeper, "I'll bring back the tablecloth." Whap, whap, whap. "I'll bring back the donkey." Whap, whap, whap. And Jackie Simple says, "And you're not going to be crooked anymore." He says, "Oh, no. Whap, 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 whap. Do you want this to go on more? Or no. Okay, why? Don't you like this? Well, it's kind of funny, but okay. Don't be boring. Okay, so whap, whap, whap. Okay, end of this part. And Jackie Simple got his ass and his tablecloth, and he came all the way back home. He said, "Okay, Tushy Whacker, stop." That's what he had to say. And then it stopped, and the innkeeper was honest for the rest of his life. And Jackie Simple came all the way home, and he said to his mom, "Come on, Mom. We're going to be rich, and we have lots of food, and we can help lots of people, whoever comes to our door from now on." And he called the beautiful donkey over. Now, I think they have 3 at this point. Yeah? What's that, Eysele? Yeah, you can't have too many. I know. Yeah, that's how I feel. And he said, "Sweet and gentle, smart and kind, my ass poops gold from her behind." Whoops, gold comes out. It didn't even smell bad. That's a strange part of my story. I guess that you can tell there's a bit of magic in this story, yeah, because when it does come out, usually it's not so fragrant, yeah. And he said also, "You can travel east, you can travel west. My tablecloth's the very best." And what a meal they had! It was fantastic. Well, there was lots of sweet grass. All the 3 donkeys, nom 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 nom. And Jackie Simple and his mother lived very happily for the rest of their lives. Whenever anybody came to their door, and they would say as a guest, "Welcome here, Jackie Simple," and his mother and the 3 donkeys would say, "A guest is a gift from God. Come in. There's plenty for everybody." So thank you for listening, everybody. And Eysele, you want to say goodbye? Okay, say goodbye. And anything else you want to say? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. You really, really want me to get the haircut before we do one more story. Okay, sure. Well, we'll be back who knows when. Please tell the story to somebody else. It's a folk tale. That means it's supposed to be passed along by word of mouth, word of heart to somebody else. Anybody you know that likes stories, tell the story. And I hope you, if you're bubbling, I hope you can bubble with a nice ass too. I feel very privileged to be able to do so. So goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening. Goodbye, Eysele. Okay.